So Ted Cruz goes to speak in front of a group called In Defense of Christians, and funny thing happens over there. He gets booed. I thought he was Mr. Christian. What's going on? Well, he starts talking about Israel. Now, you have to understand that this group is a nonprofit that promotes awareness of persecuted Christians in the Middle East. So a lot of them are from the Middle East. And let's see what happens when Ted Cruz starts talking about Israel.
And the very same people who persecute and murder Christians right now, who crucify Christians, who behead children, are the very same people who target and murder Jews for their faith for the same reason. I will say this. I am saddened.
Please, respect for dialogue. Respect, please. Okay. We're in America.
I will say this. I am saddened to see that some here, not everyone, but some here, are so consumed with hate that you cannot address your brother. I will say this. If you will not stand with Israel and the Jews, then I will not stand with you. Thank you, and God bless you.
So apparently Israel stands for all the Jews. Now look, they call it a Jewish state, so I know that there's a constant confusion there, and it drives me crazy. But does everybody in the room who are all persecuted Christians from the Middle East have to agree with everything that the Israeli government does? Otherwise, they're all anti-Semitic and they all hate all the Jews and they're full of hate, as Ted Cruz said. Okay, now let's go to an earlier part of the speech here where the problems began. And the thing that set off people in the beginning was he said Christians have no greater ally than Israel. How about Norway? I don't know. It's a statement that our politicians in the U.S. make all the time, and we just come to accept it. But it's not necessarily true, and apparently these people didn't think it was true, and so this happened.
Our purpose here tonight is to highlight a terrible injustice, a humanitarian crisis. Christians are being systematically exterminated. In 1948, Jews throughout the Middle East faced murder and extermination and fled to the nation of Israel. And today, Christians have no greater ally than the Jewish state. Let me say this. Those who hate Israel hate America. And those who hate Jews hate Christians. And if this room will not recognize that, then my heart weeps that the men and women here will not stand in solidarity with Jews and Christians alike who are persecuted by radicals who seek to murder them. If you hate the Jewish people, you are not reflecting the teachings of Christ.
Now, see, that's where people get mad, because you start talking about Israel, and then you turn it around on people who disagree about Israel to you hate all the Jews. Then the crowd gets really agitated, you know. So he says if you hate Israel, you hate America. But wait a minute now, can I hate neither and just disagree with some of their policies? I disagree with American policies. I disagree with some Israeli policies. So if you disagree with anything the Canadian government does, or do you automatically hate Canada and therefore hate America? Like, it makes no sense in any other context. oh, I can't believe Great Britain passed that tax. I'm against that tax. Therefore, I hate Great Britain. Therefore, I hate the ally, which is America. They're governments. That's why governments shouldn't represent religions. It's bad for the governments. It's bad for the religions. Because now people, demagogues like Ted Cruz, turn around and go, that's it. You hate all the Jews, right? Nope. Unless you agree to everything the Israeli government does, then you hate the Jews. And then the crowd gets upset and they're split anyway on it. It's a disaster all around. And then afterwards, Cruz sets out this statement. Tonight in Washington should have been a night of unity as we came together for the inaugural event of a group that calls itself in defense of Christians. Now, the funny thing is he tried to unite people in that second clip. That's why I showed it to you in that order. He's like, now remember, the people who hate the Jews also hate the Christians. You know what people I'm talking about? The frickin' Muslims. Can't we get united in hatred of the Muslims? No, I'm losing the crowd. You see how you're full of hate. Okay, interesting. So Assyrian International News Agency interviewed some of the people that were in the room, and this is what they said. They, the IDC summit attendees, were there to discuss the plight of the Christians in Iraq, not the Israel-Hamas conflict, and they resented the senator's attempt to hijack the summit. And so again, that's a fairly legitimate point because he's like, oh, there's no one more persecuted than the Christians. The poor Christians is a debacle. Now let me tell you all about Israel. And he starts talking about Israel. They're like, wait a minute, whoa, wait. God bless, go talk about Israel somewhere else, but we're talking about Christians here in the Middle East. Nope, you hate all the Jews. In fact, here's something else that Ted Cruz said after the speech. Quote, anti-Semitism is a corrosive evil, and it reared its ugly head tonight. After just a few minutes, I had no choice. I told them that if you will not stand with Israel, you will not stand with the Jews, then I will not stand with you. And then I walked off the stage. Again, always trying to paint himself as a hero here. Look, it's a fascinating development that here in America, there's a Christian group that boos a United States senator when he starts talking about how awesome Israel is and how all Christians must, by definition, support everything the Israeli government does. And those Christians in the room, or at least some of them, did not agree, right? And he's confounded by it. How dare you? How dare you? We all told you that the official Christian position as declared by Pope Cruz is that you must love every single action of the Israeli government. Otherwise, you're anti-Semitic, you hate the Jews, and you hate the Christians, and you hate yourself. Well, okay, thank you. I don't know who elected you Pope or head of the Christians. I don't believe you are. And apparently that room didn't believe you were either. And yes, people can disagree with government's actions without hating its people. I believe that a lot of Americans disagree with our government's actions. Anybody want to take a guess at a senator from Texas who disagrees with American government actions? Oh, right, that would be Ted Cruz.